This is a unique place to come. Like, if you want to live the adventure, it's the last frontier.
Hi, this is Captain Orton with the Canadian Army Podcast. So, you speak to your career manager and they tell you the good news. You've been posted up north near the 60th parallel. Joining me from Yellowknife in Northwest Territories is Warrant Officer Maxime Richard. He's the Operations and Training Warrant with the 1st Canadian Ranger Patrol Group. Welcome to the show.
Awesome. Thank you so much for receiving us. It's really appreciated.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to hearing about your experiences up north and what's going on up there.
Fantastic.
So you find out you're posted up north. What was your reaction to that?
So for us, for my family, because I have to include my family into that, right? Like, it was a delight. We were so happy to come over here because we wanted to discover the North. We had some friends that were discussing about coming over here when I was in Winnipeg. And they were discussing about Yellowknife, and he was like, it was almost like a dream, like you see in the movie, right? And when I arrived at the battalion, because I got posted back from Winnipeg to the battalion, to make a story short, is that I learned that that posting was available to me. So I jumped on it, and we're so happy we did.
So tell us about yourself and tell me about your career leading up to this posting.
So a little thing about my career, I've been in the military for the last 19 years, on my 20th year now. Did all my infantry stuff. I'm part of the Royal 22e Régiment. I'm a 22, and really, really proud to be one, actually. So got deployed with the 22 in Afghanistan in 2007, 2010. I got deployed in Estonia with the Royal Welsh, our sister regiment that we have for the 22. And I got posted to CFSAT, the Canadian Force School of Survival and Aeromedical Training, as a survival instructor over there. Really, really liked it. But as you know, in the military, you get post, right? So got promoted post back to the battalion, 1st Battalion of the Royal 22e Régiment. And when I was up there, my friend was always talking to me about Yellowknife. And because I finished my time at the survival school, I wanted to learn more about survival. What is the best way to learn about survival than learning it from the expert? Well, it is to immerse yourself into that type of environment. So this is why I wanted to come here at 1CRPG, the Canadian Patrol Ranger Group, to discover and learn more about survival and to hone my skills about survival, right? And I got served really well.
You got what you signed up for, that's for sure. Yeah. So how is this different from a regular posting?
Well, coming over here, so I had the chance to be an RI, Ranger Instructor, and the Platoon Warrant, and now I'm the Training Warrant. But when I did my first year as a Ranger Instructor, I was able to discover the North first, like the 3 territories, Nunavut, Yukon, and the Northwest Territories. And like when you're deployed on a patrol, you're doing many jobs, right? You're a clerk, you're an instructor, you're a leader, a mentor, you're a navigator, you're doing range, you're learning about how to hunt animals, how to do ground search and rescue, how to do airstrip and all that type of stuff. So it is phenomenal, like the stuff that we're doing. So, and you're doing it all. Like, I'm the QM2, the quartermaster. So I'm bringing the equipment for the Ranger in a charter plane, little airplane. And we're bringing them their equipment that they need for them to monitor their patrol and to do the patrol that we're doing. So it is like totally different. Like, we're having so much responsibilities on our shoulder when we're getting deployed on the land in those communities. It's pretty unbelievable.
So you're talking a little bit about patrols and some experiences as a Canadian Ranger instructor, and we hear a lot about the Canadian Rangers. I know they live and operate in a lot of remote areas across Canada on all 3 coasts, and they're pretty much everywhere. There's like 5,000 of them. But speaking of military personnel going up north, everybody who's been up there says the Canadian Rangers are the best. They know what they're doing up there. What does a Ranger patrol look like up north where you're at?
So, like, it's typically looking as a normal infantry platoon, like, with regards to the structure. Like, you're going to have that patrol commander, you're going to have the patrol 2IC, you're going to have section that's going to have the section commander, the section 2IC, and the section itself, right? But the Rangers are an extreme agile and mobile group of people that are almost comparable to guides into the north. They can deploy in any type of condition, anywhere in the north, which is incredible. Like, I did some patrols that we were navigating to 600 kilometers in snowmobile. I did some boat patrol where we were in Wekwiti and Gameti, where we use boats to go to where we wanted to go. So it's pretty unbelievable to look at the efficiency that those people are having to deploy on the land.
That makes me wonder, like, if you look at your average infantry section, for example, and the different vehicles they might use, there's a lot of training that goes on there. Does any type of training take place with those mobility options? So are you doing snowmobile training, boat training, or is it kind of just everybody knows how to do it and you just roll with it?
Oh, no. Like, people are having multiple type of trainings. The one that we're focusing more is on the C-19, the weapon that they're having. So we want them to be like, it's a standard. They have to go with the shooting program of the CAF in order to get qualified on this weapon, right? And it's something that we're monitoring into training as well. There's first aid training, wilderness first aid, standard first aid. They can get on driving course like we do in the military. They're in the military, right? So, like, they're doing the same type of training that we're doing. So they are doing it all. But most likely what is happening with the Rangers is that they're living up there. They're living in the north. So they are the expert on how to live into their community, into their area. And this is why they're so useful for us, for the military as a whole, and they're so useful into their community as well. For example, Hay River Patrol in the Northwest Territory around the Great Slave Lake, they deployed to do a Type 1 patrol that we call. And while they were doing that, there was not a crash, but there was like a hard landing for an airplane. And the boys and the girls, they went and they did a ground search and rescue to help recover those pilots and bring them back to safety. So they're doing a lot of ground search and rescue. They're also working a lot with the search and rescue technician when they're deploying. So they're going to use them as well. So, like, they're doing a lot of that. The Rangers are helping a lot the communities and the North as a whole.
So you mentioned, some of these patrols are pretty long distance. Like, in my mind, I think of a dismounted infantry patrol or something like that. You might cover like a couple of kilometers, but you're talking about these pretty vast distances. How far have you traveled? Like, where have you been as part of this task?
So I went in the three territories, in Yukon, Northwest Territories, and Nunavut. And the three of them are so different as a whole. And I went also to hunt on the Canoe Heritage Trail. I had to put it out there, which is something itself. But the Yukon, like, it have so much mountains, and it is so different. So Mayo, Ross River, Faro, Carmax, Carcross, Whitehorse, and this is just in Yukon, and I'm forgetting like Watson Lake and a couple of them. Northwest Territory, Gameti, Wekwiti, Betchoko, Yellowknife, Fort Rez, Smith, Providence. Like, it's pretty intense with regards to the one Norman's Well as well. That is the entry of the Canal Trail on the north side. And there's in the Nunavut, Baker Lake, Chesterfield Inlet, Rankin, the Nayat, Repulse Bay, Arctic Bay on the Baffin, Kimirut, Iqaluit, Resolute Bay that is on Cornwallis Island. So as a ranger instructor, you're just deploy on all those communities and discovering them by yourself or with some colleagues or some friends, right? It is just unbelievable. The first patrol that I ever did was in Chesterfield Inlet. It was minus 55 degrees and we deployed 80 kilometers, me and a couple of rangers. And it was a quite eye-opener for me, like looking at those aurora borealis, the northern lights in the evening. It was just phenomenal. Couldn't believe it.
Yeah, that's got to be quite the sight. People work pretty hard to try and see that.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that are paying a lot of money, and I'm getting paid to do it.
Yeah, living a life of adventure. Hey, this is not what we all signed up for, right?
This is exactly right. And I was talking about that survival experience, right? Because this is what I wanted to do. And I like that example a lot is I went to Repulse Bay, Nayat in the Hudson Bay. And we went on the traditional day and we went to hunt for caribous. And my patrol commander that was with me and one of my other colleagues from 1CRPG, and they show us a different way to dispatch a caribou, a barren-land caribou, which is like taller than a dog, but smaller than the mountain caribou. And we opened it and we made a backpack out of his rib cage with the ligaments of the animal. And I was like, this is why I came over here. This is what I want to learn from them. But not only that, there's always like those little tips that you're learning from them. How to do a clovage on a comatic in order to attach your equipment. Because like a comatic is just a pallet of wood with two skis, right? So you want to make sure that your kit is fixed over there because you're going to travel like that 600 kilometers, 800 kilometers in snowmobiling. So you want to make sure that everything is tight. But the Rangers showed us how to make sure that everything was stable there. And after that, you're becoming more efficient at it. So it's just a fantastic experience.
It's interesting that you mentioned the clovage and the challenges tying that, because in a previous podcast, we talked to Captain Carl Peltier from the 35 CBG Arctic Company Response Group, and he was saying how you can't use plastic buckles and stuff, and you take it for granted, and those things just explode when it's like minus 50, and you can't just use plastic anymore. It's not a thing.
Yeah. And I met Captain Peltier from the RG when I was in Ottawa doing a planning conference for Upnanook and Resolute. And really, really good guy. And this is what it is, right? Like you need to learn when you're up here how to just dress yourself, how to use the onion layers technique. To dress yourself. When you're warm, you want to undress yourself. When you're cold, you want to put some insulation layers and stuff like that, right? So there's a lot of stuff that we're thinking that it is easy down south, but over here, because of the climatic condition, it is way more interesting. I'll say it like that.
Yeah.
Or challenging.
Yeah. And the other thing is, you were talking about, some people would have been like, oh, gross, like ribcage backpack. Why would you want to do that? But the thing is, if you're in a survival situation and you need material to function, you got to do what you got to do. And having those skills can go a long way.
Yes. And this is what I like about it. And this is what I'm passionate about it, is that this is how people used to live. This is how we built our country, right? We went this way. And now with the recent technologies, like for the last, I don't know, maybe 60 years, we're starting to lose all those little skills. But this is what I like so much about the Rangers, is that they still have some. I met some people that were born in igloo. I was like, wow, couldn't believe it. They know how to build an igloo within 2 hours. They can make a house in the wilderness by themselves using a pana that they call a snow knife, just using this. I was finding it unbelievable. And also for the Inuit, there's a lot of tradition, right? And when you're able to build your own igloo, when you're going out of your first igloo that you're building, the people are lining up on the side of the entrance and they're applauding you, like clapping their hands to welcome you into this new world. And now after that, you're considered to be a grown-up because you can build your own house and you can survive out there by your own. It's just unbelievable.
So you've had deployments to Afghanistan. You've done a lot of what I would call maybe traditional army stuff. And now you're up north and you're learning a lot of these unique skills. How does this stuff make you a better soldier?
It's making me a more round soldier when we're thinking just about like the administration that we have to do as well for the patrols, right? The community, the Rangers itself. Like when we're arriving over there, like I need to know the next of kin. I need to grab their emergency contact form. I need to know and understand how to do a 638 to use the equipment of the military. So I'm the QM, the quartermaster as well, right? I need to be good on the range to be a range safety officer for the Rangers when we're doing our PWT3 with the C19, the personal weapon training for the C19, which is the Atika 308 that we're using. So I think that this is helping me to do it. So like, I think the people that are coming over here are going to be coming rounded, more well-rounded. Yeah, I'll say it like that.
So I think you're coming to the end of your time up there. What would you have to say to the next person that's coming in?
Is to be patient. That will be the first thing that I will tell them, to keep their eyes open and to seize every opportunity that is presented to them. You're going to live a good time over here. That's what I will tell them.
You make me want to go up there. Like, nice. I really like how into this you are. Sign me up.
Awesome. Yeah, like this is a unique place to come. Like if you want to live the adventure, it's the last frontiers, right? It is the wild north, and the wilderness is unbelievable. Also on the civilian side, if you like to hunt, fish, if you like the wilderness, it's a good place. And even for the people that like to be in the city, Yellowknife is a big city that have like 20,000 people. We have McDonald's and Walmart, Canadian Tire. So we have everything. Like the schools is good for the children. No traffic. Like, come on, you know?
It's good living.
It's just unbelievable. The life in the north.
You know your town's a town when you have a Walmart in it.
Yeah. Exactly. Like this is my factor, right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Awesome. Well, hey, thanks so much for telling us about your story. It was really interesting, and I hope to have the chance to talk to you again sometime.
Awesome. Me too. It was a pure pleasure, eh? Fantastic. Thank you so much for giving us that opportunity.
Yeah, it's our pleasure. That was Warrant Officer Maxime Richard from the 1st Canadian Ranger Patrol Group in Yellowknife in the Northwest Territories. Listen, folks, safety brief time. I like riding motorcycles, and tons of you out there do. Just want to say, if you ride, be safe out there, and if you don't, look out for people who are. Every year, people get back on their bikes, and soldiers get hurt. So stay sharp out there, and stay safe. Orton out. All right. It's funny. So I was a private in Afghanistan with 2 VP in 2008, and we ripped out with the Van Dews.
Yes.
Roughly around the same time when you were there.
On Fob Fabulous.
Yeah. Fob Fabulous. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I was there.
When I saw your picture, I thought you were the section commander because he was a blonde guy like you with a beard. And I was sure it was you, but it wasn't. But we were probably there at the same time.
But now that was in 2008.
Yeah.
And I was on Fob Fabulous. Yeah, so I wasn't section commander at that time. I was a corporal.
Yeah.
But in 2010, I was a section commander over there.
We had this Van Dew section commander, and he didn't speak English. And I was the only guy there who spoke French. So it was like this sergeant and then my sergeant, and I always had to translate for them because they both didn't understand each other. And they were trying to do the rip.
Yeah. This is how we did, like in those early years, right, of Afghanistan.
Yeah.
Where like not everybody was speaking in English at that time, so we're having translator in both teams, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's not easy. Yeah. So tell me about that hunting on the trail, by the way. How did that go?
Oh yeah. So yeah, the hunting on the Canoe Trail, it is right in between Norman's Well and Whitehorse. And it is just like a trail that they built in 1947 after the Great War. And they wanted to bring the oil from Canada to Vancouver to be able to have some for the boats, for everything that we need, right?
Yeah.
They wanted to bring that oil. And like they maintained that trail for quite a while. And after that, the project just went down and they found another route to bring the oil, and which was all right. But like became one of the most pristine area to go hunt in North America.
Wow.
So you're going there, you're having tags like from Dall sheep, wolf, wolverine, grizzly bear, caribou, mountain caribou. Like you have like a rainbow in your hand, and you just go out there and it is like beautiful, beautiful. I went there and I traveled from Yellowknife to go into the trail with one of my buddy, and we went quadding and we just found animals, and it was just phenomenal. With regards, like when you're not going into your stand waiting for the animal to come because you're baiting it. You're actually hunting the animal and trying to find it. So like for me and for a lot of people that are big into that, this is like the Olympic of hunting, like in your life, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
man, it's funny. Like I always wanted to do, especially when I was in Shiloh. Like I always wanted to do hunting, but I never took the time to get into it. But like I have a lot of friends that are into it, and I get it. Like it sounds like a really good time. And I love, like, I do backcountry camping. I'm a portaging guy.
Nice.
So I love so I get it. It's like the same. You're just way out there, and there's animals everywhere, and it's just beautiful. So I get it.
Yeah, and it's the same for the fishing. Like there's a lot of people that are going on the east arm of the Great Slave Lake, and they go find like 60-year-old trout in that lake that are humongous. Like Sergeant Gallant, like he found like a 51-inch pike. 51-inch pike.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
It's just crazy, right?
Man.
Yeah, no, it's really, really good for this over here.
Well, you're going to eat a while for that. Huff of that.
Yeah.